Welcome back on this Wednesday as we continue with Proverbs chapter 8, beginning with verse 22. And as we begin this, a reminder that wisdom is speaking again to remind us, to share with us the words that she has to say. Beginning with verse 22, we're going to read through verse 31. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his work, the first of his acts of old. Ages ago I was set up, at the first before the beginning of the earth. When there were no depths, I was brought forth, when there were no springs abounding with water. Before the mountains had been shaped, before the hills I was brought forth. Before he had made the earth with its fields, or first of the dust of the world. When he established the heaven, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the deep. When he made firm the skies above. When he established the fountains of the deep. When he assigned the sea to its limits, so that waters might not transgress his commands. When he marked out the foundations of the earth, then I was beside him, like a master workman. And I was daily his delight, rejoicing before him always, rejoicing in his inhabited world, and delighting in the children of man. The Lord's wisdom was before the foundation of the world, before the world was created. It's part of his omniscience, right? God's omniscience, all-knowing, is part of that wisdom that God, that we are talking about. The wisdom is part of God's omniscience, his knowing. But again, as we look at this, well, we'll get to that a little bit later. The Lord's wisdom is shown in creation. The heavens, the sky, the sea, all that are in them. He was there when they were created. And wisdom is with him. He is with the Lord when all of this was made. It says that, and I was daily his delight. Wisdom was his delight, and he was delighting in the children of men. Now, this is one of those times when we hear all about the wisdom. A couple things that it reminds me of. First of all, Job, I believe it's chapter 34, where God describes his creation and his power. But also, as he talks about this wisdom and how talks about how wisdom was there before creation and was present in creation, makes me think of John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made. Not a thing was made, I should say, that has been made apart from him. I may be paraphrasing there. The point is, he was there before creation, Christ was, and he was there at creation. A stronger tie to remind us, to show us that in one level, that wisdom is Christ. Now, when Solomon wrote this, he was writing of the wisdom that he wanted to pass on to his children. But remember, God's Spirit was at work in that, helping him to write. And in a way, perhaps he was prophesying about the Christ. Could that be? I think there's a very strong case for that, at least at a second level reading, maybe not at the primary. Let's continue verses 32 through 36. And now, O sons, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and do not neglect it. Blessed is the one who listens to me, watching daily at the gates, watching beside my doors. For whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. Again, O sons, this signals the concluding thoughts that he has. O sons. And then the part, blessed are those who keep my ways. It's the reminder of what we are called to do, of how we are to follow in his ways and what he has done. Then the final contrast of the last verse, where, for whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who fails to find me injures himself. All who hate me love death. In other words, two ways. The way of wisdom is the way of life. The way of foolishness, the way of folly, the way of the adulterous woman leads to injury, leads to death, is a sign of hating God. Again, all ties in well with this idea of wisdom being pointing forward to Christ, and folly pointing to the ways of the world. Following, loving, trusting, fearing God, or trusting in the ways of evil. Tomorrow we begin this last chapter that we'll be looking at, chapter 9, the last chapter of this subsection. Hope you will join us again. We'll see you then. God bless.